All right, let's talk about the agent's playbook. This isn't just about getting by. This is about how you can actually turn risk into real, solid profit. We're going to break down the essential rules you absolutely need to know, so let's jump right in.
You know, as an agent, you're pretty much at a fork in the road from the moment you start. There are really only two ways this can go. You make money, or you lose it all. It's that black and white.
Everything, and I mean everything, comes down to your discipline and your strategy. So you've got to ask yourself, right now, which one of these paths are you actually on?
Let's look at the two outcomes. On one side, you have the profitable agent. They're in control, their business is stable, and they have a ton of players. Then you have, well, the other path, the failed agent. They're drowning in complaints, their balance is always at zero, and they're just making one risky bet after another. And listen, the difference here isn't luck. It's about having a system.
Okay, so let's get into the first, and honestly, the most critical part of that system. We call it the golden balance rule. This is the bedrock of your entire operation. You got to get this right.
Here it is. It's so simple. Your balance must always be greater than or equal to the potential payouts you might have to make. This isn't just a friendly tip. Think of it as the #1 law of survival for your business.
Because if you break this rule, well, the dominoes start to fall, and fast. First, a player tries to withdraw their winnings, and they can't. Then, the complaints start rolling in, and before you know it, you're flagged for a system check. Your business grinds to a halt, and your reputation, it's toast.
I mean, it's just a simple fact of life, right? The well is dry. If you don't have enough money in your balance, you literally cannot process payouts. And let's be real, you can't run a business if you can't pay people what you owe them.
But here's the good news. This is totally within your control. If your balance starts to dip, the fix is a straightforward 5-step process. Figure out what you need, get the funds ready, deposit them, wait for confirmation, and then pay the player. See? It's a calm, professional process, not a last-minute panic.
So getting your own balance under control is step 1. But what about step 2? That's all about managing the risks that your players bring to the table.
Now take a look at this. This visualizes the classic mistake we see all the time, the imbalanced account. You see all these small deposits trickling in, which feels great. But then, bam, one player hits a massive win and tries to make a huge withdrawal. That one single transaction can threaten to wipe you out completely.
And this table just lays it out perfectly. Which one of these looks like a real sustainable business to you? Having 20 different players, all with small, manageable stakes, that creates a stable, predictable profit. Or having one high roller who could bankrupt you with a single lucky streak. The smart money is always on spread it out your risk.
This is why you have to stay sharp and protect yourself. Keep an eye out for these big red flags. You know, players who are somehow always withdrawing way more than they deposit. Or when you detect multiple accounts coming from the same place. Or users who are all sharing the exact same data. These are telltale signs that somebody might be trying to game the system.
All of this really leads to a huge shift in your mindset. If you want to succeed in the long run, you have to stop thinking like a player. You have to start thinking like the house.
A novice agent, they see a lot of money flying around, high turnover, and they get excited. They think that's a good thing. But a pro knows that's just noise. The pro is obsessed with one thing, and one thing only, the net result.
It's so important, I'm going to say it again. Forget about the total amount of money being bet. That's a vanity metric. What you need to be focused on is the net result, the actual profit.
And just to be crystal clear, the net result is the money that's actually left over after you've paid everyone out. That's your job. You're not a gambler, you're a manager of cash flow. You're there to balance the money coming in and going out, and to make sure one big loss doesn't sink the entire ship.
It really all boils down to something this simple. Your profit is a direct reflection of your control. The more control you have over your balance, your players, and your risks, the more profit you're going to make. It's a perfect equation. So let's bring it all together. We've looked at the two paths, right? And we can actually boil them down into two very simple formulas.
First up, here's the formula for winning. You have lots of different active players, so your risk is spread nice and thin. You're always in control of the payouts because your balance is always healthy. This is how you build a stable business with long-term profit.
And then there's the losing formula. It's basically the exact opposite. You're relying on just one or two big players, and when one of them hits it big, they wipe you out. Suddenly you don't have the cash for payouts, the complaints start, and it all falls apart. Why? Because you failed to monitor and control your risk.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this one question. It defines everything. Are you going to act like a player, just taking big swings and hoping for a lucky break? Or are you going to be the house, calm, disciplined, always in control, and building a profitable business that's built to last? The choice really is yours.